the citizen to work hard. Obey the curfew. If you see it effective, report it immediately. Our great nation can be pure again, but we must stamp out the
What have I told you? Say it.
Sort of dystopian thriller set in a world where transgender people have been completely and literally outlawed from society, and their existence is illegal. And it follows a character trying to escape law enforcement while taking care of someone that they live with or work for. I think it's really tough to do this kind of story well, and I think that there's the beginnings of it here for sure. The performances were really believable, and I loved the locations that they shot in. A lot of the camera work was really professional quality, and the whole film looked great. The story has the beginnings of something really interesting. I think that it would be really cool to see more development and more detail put into the world building itself to understand a bit more of how these laws came into effect and how society sort of ended up here, in order to really bring home the commentary on the marginalization of transgender people in our society. But yeah, really cool effort.
Really special, powerful film. I really loved it. Some great performances, and such an interesting idea for a sci-fi horror film. And it's scary how relatable it can feel to the real world that we live in today. And that's why I think it's such an important story, and it's also a very engaging one. And that's hard to, it's rare you see movies that are both like super powerful social commentary and then also be like an interesting, distant future film. So I really enjoyed it.
It was a really interesting take on sci-fi futuristic horror. I'm really looking at what trans rights might look like in a dystopic future. I thought it was really well done, and it explored those ideas while using them in science fiction.
A really great job with the butterfly. I really enjoyed this short. I thought it was a super interesting concept. And I think you guys did a really great job at, world building. I thought you kind of nailed the dystopian tone really well, and everything kind of felt super believable. I thought it was shot really professionally. It looked, really amazing. Cinematography was great. And I thought the young actress did such a great job in her role. And it was overall just a really, kind of important story and an interesting story. So good job.
An interesting concept to put it in this kind of dystopian future, and especially definitely more in the past 5 or so years than before. It's been a much more common conversation. It's been a much more prevalent thing in society to have non-binary, to ask for pronouns, to have more visibility, and to have more awareness. So I thought that this was a really interesting concept to have in the kind of not so distant future, this kind of dystopian locked in society where you had to kind of conform, or you would be like essentially hunted down, and not even essentially, you would be hunted down. So I thought that how they kind of portrayed everything was really interesting. I really liked that they still showed like sympathizers and people that were sheltering, and he even said like, don't worry about paying me for like her medication, like it's fine, like we'll take care of it later, like just get it and like go, like I'll try and buy you time, you can leave out the back. So it's like they really tried their best to show that they would always kind of be sympathizers. They would always be those people that would be on their side. And like I said, I thought the entire thing was really fascinating.
Does a very phenomenal job symbolizing how it feels for those who are trans, how it feels internally and how they go through their day-to-day life. This film had a strong sense of persecution, the sense that they were being hunted for who they are, and it definitely reminded me of different instances in history. The Underground Railroad, those who aided the Jewish people during World War II, where you had supporters, you had allies who would help them, but again, that constant sense of persecution. Unfortunately, I do believe we're still in a time where the world is still very ignorant, is the best word I can use, where trans rights aren't really looked at seriously. And so symbolically, I do feel like this film is representation of that feeling where it does feel that intense, where it feels like someone's hunting you down and tries to make you feel like you're not a person, but instead an animal that shouldn't belong. I think that this film does a great job of getting that feeling across.
Wow. What an incredible film. I really loved this. I loved everything about it. I loved the message. I loved the way it was written. I loved the way it was directed. I really loved the way it was shot. And the casting was unbelievably good. Just really good. I mean, the woman harboring the defective was amazing. The pharmacist guy was really great. The cop was perfect. And the transgender actor was wonderful. Just wonderful. I really found this to be very disturbing and moving and thought-provoking, because this could happen. And it can't. And this film, oh, wow, it's amazing. It felt to me very Hunger Games, very Handmaid's Tale, but centering around the transgender community, and it's scary. I love this movie. Thank you for making it, and congratulations.